And let's see. Let me know what you guys think of it. Let's see. Where are we at? Okay, there we go. Oh, nope. Wrong. Let's see. Where are we at? Oh my gosh, I'm lost here. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, I created a lot of a new look. Anyway, so welcome, and we are going through a really interesting period here in our little beautiful country, or our big beautiful country. I think we're realizing just how hard it is to govern this much property. But anyway, I have not checked news in a few hours. It takes me a long time to set up for this stuff, and so I don't know what's going on. I hope most of you are at peace, and I don't know if we have a new president or the same president or whatever. I'm not going to discuss politics, and for those of you that don't know, like personally, I'm very politically interested and motivated. I'm reading Bertrand Russell's like a hero of mine, but I just don't really feel that it's really a function for me, that necessary function for me to comment on, who I would vote for or whatever. And I'm willing to take whatever heat that is. I really just want to connect to people through hoop teaching. I mean, one of the things that was so cool about being on the road and teaching hoop workshops was just how different we all were. Like we were just a very eclectic group. I mean, we being HoopPath, we being hoopers, and I like life staying complex and sometimes even complicated. Like I like almost liking everything about somebody, but I don't have to like everything about somebody to want to share hoop space and hoop love with them. And I really feel like sometimes, this connection is even more important. So tonight, even though we're on the eve of, or the eve's eve, or the eve's eve's eve of a big moment in the U.S., we're not going to be talking about it tonight. But this was suggested, this class was suggested as a grounding, and hey, Hoopy Smiles, as a grounded and balanced class. And I really am feeling into that because balance is actually perfect for moments like this. Because why balance is so perfect is because it pulls you into focus. Like, for people like me that like ADHD, or whatever the spectrum is, we can be so distracted, and focus, trying to keep a hoop standing still, can actually be super awesome for pulling us away from like monkey mind and all that sort of stuff. And so sometimes a little technique is exactly what you need. So what I'm going to do tonight is I put a playlist together. Mostly SoundCloud helped me put this together. I'll be honest with you, each song is not perfectly curated, because what I want to do tonight is really be available to you guys so you can ask me questions about balance, and we're just going to kind of work a balance class out. One at a time, like from exercise to exercise. You guys can ask me questions. I was going to do a HoopPath help desk, but hey, Tony, I was going to do a HoopPath help desk tonight, but this is taking its place. So, all right. So I'm just going to jump on into it. If you're here for the first time, let me just go ahead and tell you that what we start off with is something called sway. And in the sway, you can move any way you want. You can roll around the ground. You can, whatever it is you want to do. I usually literally sway, and I'll give you some guidance as far as that goes. And then you just kind of do your own thing. Tonight's playlist is on SoundCloud, as you can probably tell down there in the corner. Let's see. There we go. Okay. And I just want to go ahead and jump into it. I got a new layout. You guys can let me know what you think. As always, I'll probably be moving things around. Okay, so one thing you should know is that Sheila is not here tonight. And so normally I don't have this many, I love me, but I don't have this many cameras set up on me. But she's not here, and they were already on. So we're just going to go with that. Oh, sweet, Jenny Edwards. Okay, so tonight, if you're here for the first time, tonight we're going to do something called sway, which is where you just sort of slowly warm up. And then we are going to have a little bit more technical, kindish class than maybe normal. Each class is a little bit different. So, I want you to have a good time, but just know that just sometimes the classes will kind of, vary from one. Beth, you're here. Sweet. All right, without any ado, we're going to go ahead and jump straight into this. As I mentioned, this playlist is on SoundCloud. And let's go. You should. Audible breath in. It is easy for me to change the music volume and all that sort of stuff, so please let me know if something isn't exactly right. Audible breath in. Audible breath in. Balance is the theme tonight. And it's our runway from which we'll take off into our practice session. We're setting our bearings, our coordinates for balance. In the HoopPath and in my teaching, I like to talk about living balance. Because that's what all balance is. It may look as if a hoop is standing still when it's being balanced, but it's living there. There are constant little movements there to keep it looking still. There's actually lots of smaller, almost imperceptible movements that are happening. Audible breath in. To learn to balance the hoop is difficult. And like any difficult task, it's best to bring our best self to that pursuit. Our best self right now is our opened, relaxed, stretched out self. Seeking balance. It's the runway. Breath in. Balancing you are two powerful trees, a right tree and a left tree. And those two trees are each strong enough that they can hold you completely. But in tandem, working together, they create grace. first joining, if you're just now getting into hooping, from someone that's been doing it over 28 years now, you're about to discover that you have a non-dominant side that wants to speak. You're about to discover that one half of your body has maybe been underutilized. People will ask you how much weight you've lost, how much stress you've lost. But what I like to tell people is I gained a whole side of my body. Audible breath in. Okay. Okay, I'll turn the mic up. Thank you, guys. See? This is how we do it, guys. This is how we work together. We become bigger, faster, and stronger together. I'll bring the mic up a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so hopefully you guys can hear the mic a little bit better now, I'm hoping, anyway. Okay, hey Ratty VR. Okay, so we're gonna just go ahead and... sweet, Miss and Bliss. Do I know you? Are you a student at Teamwork? Yep, thanks Beth. Okay, let's find Baxter's Hoop and then we'll get going on all this. Okay, so there's cool. There's a technique that we're gonna... New, okay, cool. Yeah, right, you've been hooping for 11 years, and I'm sorry about that. All right. Oops. Oh no. Okay, here we go. This is crazy. All right, so we're gonna start off tonight with, while this song is playing, the music's just gonna kind of play from one to the other. Sweet, thanks for the feedback on the mic. Let me know if it needs to be more. Again, I don't normally have 6 cameras on me, but we're just going to go with it, because what the hell. Let's see if I have anything that's a little bit less crazy. Okay, this is better. Okay, I got some things to fix with this one, but this is better. All right, so here we are. We're going to start off with a technique called point technique. Now, here's the deal. I usually balance on the back of my hand. I think it looks badass. I think it's just cool, to do it, and it's just the way that I've done it. Tonight, you can do the whole class on the palm of your hand if that's easier. I'll get into later reasons why I like to do it on the back of the hand. But to warm up the back of my hand, I'm going to do something that we call in the HoopPath point technique. And point technique is where I'm holding the hoop on the back of my hand. It could even be like without anywhere, close to the fingers. It could be on the arm, but I'm holding it without grip. And what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and apply 2 point, which is where I have 2 points of contact. The hands count as 1 point each. I have 2 points of contact, and I'm going to move those points around. Sweet. Welcome, everybody. Now, I'm imagining most of you have had HoopPath before, and so you know what point technique is, and I want you to go off and do that thing. For those of you who haven't had HoopPath, point technique, you can just sort of imagine it's kind of like Tai Chi, or some sort of slower, more thoughtful movement form, less hectic movement form. And the idea is that it's meant for, us when we get into our 80s, 90s, and 100s to still be able to hoop. But it brings a lot of benefit to us at any age, in our teens, 20s, 30s, whatever. my goal is to just feel and get comfortable with the hoop being on the palm, on the back of my hand. And feeling that sense of touch, okay? This is what we call two-point technique, where both hands are inside, and what I want you to do right now is to move to what I call the corners of the hoop. And the corners of the hoop are when, you imagine there's a square that you crammed into your hoop. Where would those corners approximately be? Those are the corners. And what we're going to do right now, they're very important for point technique, because once you have the corners, even in balancing, you can control the hoop a lot better. So I'm holding the hoop here. We're not holding it, but resting on my hands. And I can give myself a little bit of pressure. If I if I push my hands too far apart, I'm going to ride up the hoop. But just a little bit of pressure, and I can feel it there. And then we're going to move a little bit while doing this. And I know this might seem a little odd for some of you joining me for the first time, but this is to warm up your body. In the HoopPath, there's essentially 3 ways of point technique. There's hanging, flying, and standing. Hanging, flying, and standing. Right now we are in hanging, but if I wanted to move into flying point, I would just move quickly, and the hoop catches flight, and then the moment I stop, it's back to a hang. So my mic is a little bit higher, and I hope that was better for you guys. Okay, so let me know if that's better. If I got too much, as always, let me know. Okay, so I'm moving around. For those of you with black belts that have been taken with me a while, we've talked about this before, but you can walk two-point outside contact all the way up into a balance. It's definitely possible. And then for those of you who have had class before, we know that we can wrap two-point and create a hold. So here, I can wrap a two-point. The thing about balance is that it really requires you to be as open and in your optimum place as possible. So the more we can move around right now and get you warmed up, the better. How many ever points of contact becomes the number, right? This would be 3 points. This is hanging. If I wanted to, I could go into flying. This would be a 1 point fly. 2 point fly. If I turn my hand towards me, I can do a within 2 point fly. Right? And then back out. All right, but you might be getting dizzy there. Okay. Okay, I hope you guys are with me. I hope the mic is sounding good. Please, just keep, I know it might seem tedious, but you guys are helping me find the volume. Hopefully you can tell, I was able to fix the amplifier. Instead of watching, or as the world was coming to a crisis the other night on Tuesday night, I was working on this stuff. Okay, so we're back into this point position here, and we're going to go ahead and move into our first balance. So our first balance is, to get there, we're going to do something, we're going to try a couple of different approaches, but the first one is called the door knocker, right? I don't know why. It's pretty obvious, but the door knocker is, what you want to do is you want to get a good swing going on your hoop right here. You want to get a good swing on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to swing the hoop out, drop the hands, and the hoop is going to go into a balance. So let me show you what that looks like here. So I'm here, I'm swinging the hoop out, and I'm going to swing it out, drop my hands, and the hoop will move into a balance. Now, I'm making it look a little bit easier than it is. Here's what's going to happen. It's like if you've ever spread a blanket, picnic, bed making, whatever, and you spread a blanket, you know how you pick it up and you drop it again? That dropping creates the roll in your hoop. When you drop, the hoop's going to invert, right? And so you're going to get under it. Now, if you're having trouble making the drop happen, just lower the whole body. Just drop the whole body there. But I'm here. Now, once I send it out, once I drop, then it all becomes about my gaze. And what I want to do is focus, I pretend that I have these invisible hands that are coming out of my eyes and that they are gripping this point right here. It could be anywhere on the hoop, but for me, it's almost always the North Star point here. So I am looking at it, gripping it that way, okay? So I'm here, and I'm going to send it out, and then I'm there, okay? Now, the thing is that the more I stay focused, and this is where, for people like me, if you suffer, if you feel like you have a really hard time concentrating, I really think this helps, right? I have no science to back me up, but I think this type of training can really help you stay focused in a conversation you can't really pay attention to. So, I'm here, and what I want to do is when I swing the hoop out, my focus, everything, is right there. It is right there on that right there. And so when I swing it out, whoops, I don't want to swing it out and hit me in the head, but I want to swing it out and put it in that balance there. Okay? Let's try that with some music on and see if it's any better. You should be able to hear me just fine. Everything should be good. Let me know whatever you need. Again, camera angles galore tonight. It's kind of fun, though. Now, a couple of things some pointers that I'm going to give you here. In addition to keeping your gaze held really well there. In addition to keeping the gaze really well held there, what you also want to do is go back to that living balance idea. So that when I swing it out, I need everything to be alive. What'll happen sometimes for people when they're balancing, I'm not poking fun at them, but their legs will literally lock back like this. They'll push their arms way out here, very straight, and then they'll just really struggle to get even a second of balance. What you should do instead is soften the legs, but make them strong, but soften them a little bit. Maybe put a little bit of bend in your elbow so that you're not, super rigid like this. When you're like this, you don't have as many muscles and tendons and things to help you make those little micro movements. So bringing the hands in a little bit, or at least some bend there, will really help you, all right? So I swing it out, drop, I lock it with my gaze, and then my hands under here are super... Well, I'm at the corners. I guess I should have brought that up. That's why we worked on the corners. You see how I'm at the corners of my hoop, more or less? I mean, eventually you can be anywhere. I don't know if you guys can tell that I've had a lot of coffee today, but I have. Now, one of the things that you can do is practice just getting it up and down, right, and experiencing success without like going to the what we call the failure point every time, the terminal point. So in that sort of situation, you can come up, balance it, and then let it swing back down, and then come back up. And then let it swing back down, and then it come back up. Now, I should probably overemphasize the drop down. I've gotten pretty good at this, so the drop looks, a little bit smaller for me, but the drop down will help you. Drop your knees if you need it. Remember to breathe. For those of you that have been taking HoopPath for a while, what you can do is you can actually turn this into a circuit. The door knocker can turn into a balanced circuit. So I'll show you what it looks like. What I do is I swing the hoop out from here, kind of like, like a matador type thing, except I'm not cruel. And then I'm going to swing this down, and then back up, and then back down, and back up. And what this is doing is it's helping me learn how to catch that balance. And this is something that's really important for beginners to understand. It does not matter how you balance, what you do with your hands, right? Hey, Johnny Sue. It doesn't matter what you do with your hands. I want to show you. I'm not showing off, but I just want to show you something here. You see me? I'm dribbling the hoop right now. Like, I am moving my hands. Let's see if I can get you going there. Hopefully the picture is good enough you can see this. I'm dribbling my hands. It doesn't matter. I can dribble and I can put this on the back of my hand. People will say the craziest things. They'll say, my hands are too small, my hoop is too warped, or whatever. I have watched circus people balance wheelbarrows. Yeah, I've watched them balance sickles. Like, the thing is like the shape and the sort of nature of the thing can all be balanced. That's what's so beautiful about balance. Hey, Dana. So swing out, and I'm here. Swing out. Here. Now, there's one more technique. As I said, we're just going to sort of flow through text. It's a very technique class tonight, but you guys are all okay with this. It's meant to take your brain all crazy. So now what I want to show you is look at my hands here and see how they're brought in here. And what I'm going to do is, instead of like folding the hoop out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll my hands over. So I'm here, and I'm just going to roll this hand over to there. So I'm here, and I'm going to put my hands here. And this sometimes makes it easier for people. I'm going to just be staring right there, and I'm going to roll my hands back. Okay? So the hoop is now on the back of my hands, both hands. My fingers are spread, so I'm getting lots of surface area there, lots of range of surface there to help hold the hoop. This is one of those times I really wish Sheila was here, because I could tell whether or not anybody's getting any of this or not. But I swing it, or no, we're here, sorry. And so you might want to choke in a little bit, like bring the hands closer together, and then you'll roll out. So let me give you a couple of pointers about just the super basic, this is what we call a sun balance. But the super basics of sun balances is that sometimes you might not realize it, but your hands kind of have a height sweet spot. And so in the beginning, like eventually you'll be able to balance anywhere, but sometimes they have a sweet spot. So sometimes, like some of you might be trying to balance like way out here with these super straight arms. You might have more luck like dropping the hands, like using this rollout technique and just dropping the hands and maybe keeping it here. This is like the super common, the sort of dolphin knocking the beach ball technique of keeping balance up is like, or seal, I guess it's a seal. But that is, can be very helpful for people. And then some people I've watched, if your hoop is small enough, can just straight up third eye rest it there and then push off of that third eye and then come back down to it. Okay. Oops, sorry, hoop punches, those are gonna happen. Yeah, I've already had a couple tonight myself. All right, so I'm just gonna give you a couple seconds or a couple moments without me talking so you can feel this. Sweet, Tony, you're getting it. That's nice. It's good to hear. Tonight's going to be super chill. If you want to take a break from me and do your own thing during these awesome songs, the playlist, again, was kind of, I've curated a little bit, but most of this is put together automatically from SoundCloud. It's nice chill stuff tonight. I need some chill. Going back to some pointers here. One of them is to keep your legs bent. I know this can be really tough, especially if you didn't grow up athletically or you coming back from an injury or some reason that's made you stiff. Remembering to bend the legs, right? So if I drop my legs a little bit, it's almost like the more things that I give the opportunity for free movement, the better I'll do, okay? So instead of this, where I'm limited to just articulations from here down, I break the elbows so I've got some room there. Instead of super straight legs, where I have to make all the movement from up here, I put some bend in the knees and bend in the legs, all as a learning rhythm, to help me make myself more available to all the little micro movements that I need. And then I am 100% focused on this focal point here. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit more. Let me know again if the sound is okay. Oh, Jenna Gray. Wow, some old school people showing up, man. Oh, man. Oh, it feels good, guys. Thank you for showing up, popping in and saying what's up. Oh, no, I'm about to lose one of my cameras. Who knows? What will I do without this camera? Okay, so we're going to move into another type of balance, and this one is called a bow balance. I don't want to get too far into it, but this is the bow plane. It's kind of a weird, sort of backwards, but anyway. Hey Amber, this is the bow plane, and so what we're going to talk about is a bow balance. I think in poi terms this is called the wall plane, but I really don't know because I don't do poi. But what I want you to do is you're going to take your hand and you're going to hold the hoop here in point technique, and you're going to grab the other hand and you're going to run it lengthways along the hoop like this, and then you're going to push it down until you're holding the hoop with two hands, okay? And if you haven't done 2-point before, it's surprisingly strenuous, right? But then you're going to pull it back, and I'm going to raise it way up here. And then what I want to do is I'm going to give it just a little bit of a pull back, and then I'm going to use my hand to help me hold the hoop into a balance. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep my hands together. This is a good learning technique. I'm going to keep my hands together, and I'm going to let the hoop pick kind of this channel for it. I'm not going to grip it. That's cheating. That's called pinching the hoop, and that's not, well, it's kind of called pinching the hoop, but that's cheating. What we're going to do, but we are going to use sort of the natural sort of boop, boop of our hands to help hold the hoop there. And so I'm going to hold the hoop on the back of my hand. If that's too much of a strain, you can just grip it in samurai. And what you want to do, though, is put some bend in the arm and then pull the hoop back to here, and this is called the bow balance. Okay? Now, when you're doing a bow balance, let's see if I can give you the bird's eye. What I want to do is look down there, right? Like when I'm doing this, I want to look here, right? Instead of looking up here, I want to look here, like I'm almost that part of the window when I do this. And so I'm here. Hopefully I'm not cross-eyed for you guys. Okay, so that is called a bow balance, and we're just... Oh, hey, Kelly. Thanks, Amber. Thanks for... I love it when you guys pop in and say what's up. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm here. This is called a bow balance, and some people find these to be easier. Now, there is a 2-point version of this. The 2-point version is when I have, just like my hands are back at the corners, but this requires a little bit of a reach, especially if you have a big hoop. I'm going to reach out this way, like this, and then bring the other hand here. And this is a 2-point balance. One of the reasons that I got excited about teaching a grounding and balance class, I just want to talk while you practice, is because that's really where the balance comes from. It's grounding, it's understanding your feet as roots. that when your feet make contact with the ground, they're like roots that are, even if it's just super instantaneous, they are roots that really grip the ground. And your strength for the balance comes up. And what sometimes helps people with their balance is to think of it like you have to lift. Like, in some ways, the balance is more of a lift than just a rest of the hoop. The hoop is standing there because you're lifting it up. Imagine like you're lifting your child, or you're lifting someone up. That's what's happening with the hoop. And so one of the reasons that you lose balance after a while is because your arm is tired. And when that happens, you can switch hands. So if I wanted to do a switch, I would hold the hoop there, right? Come down, switch hands. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but that's the best way to do it. And then I'm going to come up and go ahead and train my non-dominant hand, which is my left. Looking across here. I'm not looking so much up here. I'm looking across. This is the 2-point that I was talking about. Now, 2-point's cool because eventually when you get advanced, you can start to do, these sort of pivots where you axle changes where you turn. You can get lots of control that way. So if you're actually, if you're not learning balance for the first time tonight and you don't do this already, this is a good sort of practice to have. If any of you feel like you can channel some energy, can you channel like some optimism, some stability, and some peace into the world right now? This is bow balance. Now I can do a single point sun balance, and that would look something like this. Okay. So just so you know, this has been impossible to sort of stay with everybody here. So I may start to lose some people. This might be the kind of class you come back and take later. But we're going to talk a little bit about the hand walking, and because that's a balance that you can actually pull off before you might realize it. But one of the ways to get into it to start, well, this is what it is. This is hand walking. Okay. Now, one of the things that will make it easier is if you learn it with lots of momentum. So if I have the hoop spinning right here, like whatever hand it's in, I'm going to go in with the opposite hand. So my hoop right now for me is on the left hand here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with the right hand, get up under it, see if I can keep it rolling for a second, and then I'm going to bring it back down. Nice easy roll there. Then back up. And then if you're doing this for the first time, yours might look like some kind of crazy shit, like, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, this might be a little bit rough on the back of the hand. Some people like to use the palms. This is the palm. Whatever, I just like the back. We're going to get some point here. Okay. Now, this might be way ahead of where some of you are at. To really make the hand walk happen, what happens is your hand is coming up, but then under the hoop. It comes up and under. And so when the hoop is here, you create the hill that it rolls back onto. Okay? So like I create the hill either at the wrist or with my whole arm. I create a hill so that it's going to roll back and then roll onto the other hand. And so I keep that momentum going. And the more the momentum is going, actually the easier it is to keep it up. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to do it the way I've been teaching you guys. I'm rolling it on my left hand towards my right hand. Okay, so it's coming this way. I'm going to roll up under it, and then I'm going to start just rolling with the hoop. Okay, but where I'm here, I'm pushing up, right? Now my body's figured out all this stuff, so sometimes it's harder for me to like break it down. Now one thing that's really important though is that my gaze is still my focus, right? Like I'm still focused in on this thing, so I don't take that off. Some of you have been with me on the HoopPath so long, you'll know what technique I'm talking about. But in the hand walk, you know, this is super geeky, but you can actually feel as though you're looking out of the eyeball, the eye of the hand that's holding the hoop. And so, like when I'm in this sort of bow hand walk and it's coming towards me, when it's in my left hand, I can kind of peer through my left eye there, and on my right hand, peer through it there. And I don't know if that's backed up by science, but sometimes it helps me to feel like I'm not actually taking a break from looking at the hoop as I change hands. All right, I hope you guys are still with me. Maybe it's a good thing I can't see the numbers. But anyway, if your hands are getting tired, you can, of course, do any balance technique can be put on any part of the body. If people do their heads, all kinds of crazy stuff. So I can, just show you. I can do the back of, like the straight up back of my hand. I can do the wrist.
No one will ever love you as much as I do.
Okay. Assuming, since no one's commenting, that you're either pissed off, you've laughed, or you're trying really hard, and that's awesome. Actually, maybe what I should do is give you some uninterrupted music to listen to, but one thing I'll say is that, this is maybe, once you get to where you can keep the hoop up for like maybe 4 or 5 seconds or 4 seconds, what you want to do is start to develop your flow instincts with the balance. And so when the balance falls, if it's possible, like if you have that much control, try to flow with the balance, with the hoop falling, because that's one of the reasons we use balance, is to kind of create the next move, right? So for instance, if I'm here and I'm in a bow, and my hoop starts to fall, I'm just going to go with it. I might rock it a little bit, and then I'm going to put it right back up into that balance. If it falls this way, I'm going to let it. Right? And you see, so balance is, what's awesome about balance is you can use it to create this really cool but unexpected movement of yours. Oh, you're welcome, Jennifer. Okay, so we're pretty much at the end here. I want to just throw in, since I can see some black belts that were here or are here, so I just want to mention this. And when I say black belt, that's something you determine. But basically, when I'm saying black belt, I mean like the people that have been doing it and have committed to it And there's no set of skills that makes them that way. It's just a mentality that I'm addressing. It's for the person that really wants to they want to tinker with their abilities, right? So couple of things you can do here. One is you can start to use different cradles. Like, remember, I talked about the drumming of the fingers here. That can really like help you open up some things, or doing it on the back strip, the back of the hands. That can be really cool. The other thing you can do are start to do little hops, okay? Because this will really help you learn how to catch a hoop. I can throw the hoop up pretty high and catch it on the back of my hand. The kids love to move. But actually, it's not as hard as it looks, because once you start to develop a sense of touch with your balance, these are hops, right? I'm just throwing the hoop up. This is pretty advanced stuff, but I'm just throwing it up and I'm catching it. All right. One more thing that I can do, since we're running at the end, and I'll just let the music go without talking. I know I've been going off tonight. But when I'm out here, you can, this is very advanced, but you can start to go ahead and feel this axle spin control from the hands. So I'm in this double point, I swing it out, that balance. So I'm here, I swing it out. And what you can start to do is, well, actually, I forgot a technique I should tell you about. When I swing the hoop out, and this is kind of advanced, but some people get it. When I swing the hoop out, I'm going to look through it. Instead of looking at it, I'm going to look through it. I'm going to create a frame. Like right now, I'm framing the camera here. I'm going to create a frame, and I'm going to look through that frame like this. And I guess my peripheral vision or whatever is holding it, and I can kind of like look anywhere that I want to. As long as I'm looking through the hoop, right, I can pretty much hold it without looking. And so this might help some of you. If you want to feel what I'm talking about, just go ahead and hold the hoop and then push it out until you feel like it's kind of framed, like you can see both sides, even if they're just in the distant part of your peripheral vision there. And then you'll roll out or swing the hoop out, however you get into your balance, and then you can look through it. And it's pretty cool. Okay, and then the last thing, gosh, I've talked a lot tonight, sorry guys. But then the last thing is for those sort of starting to feel that axle torque or whatever, I guess you would call it. We swing it out, and I'm going to be in this balance. And maybe the being underneath the bird's eye will help here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be in this balance, but then I'm going to start to put some torque or some axle spin on the hoop there, right? So I'm here. Because what that eventually can get you to is this ability, where you can walk the hoop around from the back of the hands. And what's really happening is I'm here, I hand walk it to here, then turn it, and hand walk it, then turn it. I'm actually just using my right hand for that right now. This is continuous. Okay, I probably lost everyone on that last one. All right, I just want to put some music on, let you guys, or just continue with the flow, let you guys free hoop. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. You are welcome. You're welcome, Beth. Thank you, guys. Hope you got a little something out of this. Ninja Bacon. That's awesome. You're welcome. Thanks for checking it out, guys. You're catching me at the right time. It finally looks, the stream actually looks good. Sweet, June. Good to see you, June. Or virtually see you. Thanks, Beth. I've missed talking, as you can probably imagine. And again, let me know if you guys like the layout, hate the layout, what do you want me to do? Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Nice, Jenny. Thanks. Every Thursday and Monday at 7 o'clock New York City time. And then I just want to say that If you guys are watching this on replay, about 12 to 13 hours after the class goes up, a higher quality version, it looks pretty great. It looks almost as good as what I'm seeing here, will be available. It's always, to the left of whatever the class is, and it'll say higher quality. And you can check it at the class out there if you're watching on replay and you don't want to watch it immediately. But it does take, with my internet, 12 to 14 hours. Thank you, Michelle, for joining me again.
I can't even say the word, 'cause all I am is all you see. Disappear in thin air, I know why you call, 'cause you can only blend when lights low.
As always, thank you, Karen, for jumping in.
All is clear in the way that you talk, but I can't know the fear. I can't even tell the truth. All you find in me is you. And I know where you wanna go. All you find with me is you.
I will go ahead and make this playlist. For those of you watching this on replay, I'll put the link up now for the playlist. Okay, this will be the last song. Thanks, everybody.